Good afternoon, Draft League fans and Pokemon players alike. This is Blazeman, and today I'm bringing you our Week 7 battle of the IDL versus Niki and their Eldorado mentors. Now, unfortunately, Week 5 and Week 6, our video files were corrupted, so I'm not able to upload those videos, so I apologise for that. But Week 7 is here, and we are currently... we are 4-3, looking to... No, sorry, we are 3-3 in these last couple of weeks, looking to improve our score here in Week 7 and go 5-3 to end the season. So yeah, we did have a good game against our good friend Josh, GBJosh, in Week 5, which we unfortunately lost in a very close 1-0, and then we were able to DestroyR, ironically, in Week 6 with a very, very good 1-0 win on the back of his doing Samurott, slicing up the competition, as he said. So here, Week 7, we have Niki. So this team is quite expecting a lot of some good threats here. Gouging Fires, obviously very offensive. Clefable is very bulky. Terra Archaladon is Terra, Electric, Fairy and Dragon, a good offensive Pokemon and good types. And they've got support in ones like Donphan and Amoonguss and Swampert. Kilowattrel is also very strong. Electric plus flying is very difficult for people to switch into. And they've got a couple of good special breakers in Meloetta and Miss Magius, sorry. Now this team here, I wanted to go, obviously we've torn our Terra Cats in here, I wanted to go Terra Ground this week just to break our Chaladon if it doesn't Terra Gouging Fire. And it was also just good neutral stab into a lot of the team here, and we're also rocking the Yachi Berry this week. So yeah, we're doing a classic Nasty Plot, Grass Knot, as well as Terra Blast and Hurricane. Next we've got Cotton Candy, who we're rocking offensive again this week with Moonblast, Psychic U-Turn, Giga Drain again, Giga Drain and Giga Drain to break Swampert and Donphan. Moonblast is just good stab because they have no poison type and their only steel type is neutral dragon, neutral to fairy, sorry, and Psychic again just to hit the just to give us some neutral stab and hit the Amoonguss. And then we've got our Samurott here again. Ceaseless Edge is so free. Razor Shell just hit the Donphan, which is their only way of removing hazards. Sucker Punch from mons like Kilowattrel, Miss Magius, Meloetta, and Gouging Fire if they all set up, and Flip Turn just for some pivoting here. And then we've got our Choice Scarf Latias. Again, Latios just does really well here. Luster Purge to break through Clefable, Future Sight as in there's no Dark type. Draco Meteor and Flip Turn just for pivoting. We've got Spadef, Skeledirge here, we're mixed defensive to switch into Clefable and Amoonguss, but also Soft Check, Gouging Fire as well, with Torch Strong, Slack Off, and Scorching Sands. And then we've got our Booster Sandy Shocks here, Earth Power, Thunderbolt, Power Gem, Stealth Rock, just does really well here. It can always revenge Gouging Fire after a DD, and it can also just do well against their team. We've also got Stealth Rock to help mons such as Titan, Swampert, Donphan and Amoonguss get chipped in range of Tornadoes to win the game, or Latios depending on the set. So here we are with our battle against Niki. As you can see here, they do elect a leader for the Clefable, as we elect a leader for their Whimsicott. Whimsicott was just a solid lead against a lot of his team. Again, it could have been Donphan, Swampert lead, could have been Gouging Fire. So it's just a good lead against. He didn't bring the Kilowattrel or the Archaladon, which is super surprising. But yeah, it's just a good lead. So I'm going to elect to click U-turn here. There's no reason for me to stay in. This Clefable could set up in my face or try and get off some big damage with a fire move. So either way, I'm going to go into my Skeledirge here. And because my Skeledirge is actually my set for this is my set to help with Skeledirge. But he actually does click Fake Tears, which actually will work because we're both unaware. So I'm going to try and just boost past this thing with Torch on quickly, and just obviously Moonblast isn't going to do squat to me, but if he does get a special attack drop, it will counteract my set. So I'm just hoping that there's no special attack drop here. I'm actually going to predict Niki to switch out into Swampert or Donphan on my Skeledirge, so I'm going to go back into Whimsicott here. And actually no, I'm just going to stay in. Sorry, I'm going to stay in this turn, and you see that does about 25% ish, and you do see the Moonblast, and thankfully it doesn't get a Spadef drop and special attack drop, but my Spadef is -2. So it does a fair amount to be honest, so I've just got to keep chipping this Clefable down. With Torch Song, I'll eventually boost past it, but the Fake Tears is a decent bring on Niki's part. I've seen them bring it a lot, but again, Skeledirge was still my best thing regardless. I could have probably been Covert Cloak, but I did want to be... Safety Goggles, sorry, in case of a Mungus Spore, because obviously it does a lot of damage to my Grass typing Whimsicott. Where it kills it, of course. So yeah, we do see I switch out in case, obviously, to reset the Spadef, and in case he doubles, but we do see him staying and go for more Fake Tears. So as you can see, obviously Niki's going to go for the Moonblast here. So I do go back into Skeledirge, and then I'm just going to elect to go for the Torch Song here just to keep this thing. I do elect to go for the Slack Off just to keep this mon healthy in case this thing comes back in again, because this Clefable could be a slight pain for me, but I do think that we can handle this mon pretty well. I am expecting him to go and Swampert here or into a Donphan. Again, either way, it's not the end of the world, but I do obviously, he does like to stay in, which means so good because I get the Torch Song off, and he goes for the Moonblast, so I do have +1 here, and then I can go for the Slack Off and keep my Skeledirge healthy, because again, it is a good mon against Niki, especially this Clefable, because obviously he's going to click Fake Tears here. So I've got +1 off, and my Skeledirge is faster than this Clefable. So we're going to get off a good amount of chip here with Torch Song, and we're going to make sure that we can keep this Clefable in check. So you see that does about 25% now, so he's at half. Obviously Moonblast does a fair bit because of Fake Tears, but I am still at a range where I can take another Moonblast. So I'm just deciding here, I think I'm going to stay in and go for another Torch Song, because I can just boost past this thing and I can live Moonblast no problem. As you see, that brings... I can boost past it no problem. As you see, we do actually condition him here into going for Moonlight, which is good, because now I can get off another Torch Song and do even more damage, because obviously, as you can see, I'm about 75%-ish. Obviously, he does select to switch out, which makes a lot of sense, but obviously I get rid of it, which is good. So Swampert comes in here, obviously this is +3, it's going to do about 25%, if that. Which is fine. I'm more than happy for the Clefable to switch out. I can save my Skeledirge for this set another time. I am going to elect to go into my... I did debate going into my Tornadoes here, but I didn't want to catch a Stray Ice Punch, because this is how I wanted to win the game. I did think he was going to go for an EQ or an Ice Punch. So I went to my... not an EQ or Water Move here. So I went into my Whimsicott, but we actually see the Body Press, which... I'm guessing he was predicting Swampert to come in here, and we do see that they're actually Life Orb on the Swampert, which is not something you see every day. So props to Niki for bringing offensive Swampert. Again, it's a fun set, and this Swampert is a good mon. To be fair, it does hit reasonably hard. It's got 110 attack, I think. So I do predict the Amoonguss to come out here, but we actually see the Titan, which is interesting. That does not do a lot of damage, so the Titan is quite Spadef. I was expecting more of like a Slush Rush Sweeper, or just like a bulky Belly Drum, because a lot of my threats, fast threats, I think my top 4 mons are weak to ice in Whimsicott, Tornadoes, Sandy Shocks and Latios, and then it drops down to Terrapagos and Samurai Hisu in terms of my speed tier. So I was expecting some sort of offensive set. Obviously it does struggle to break Skeledirge. I'm just going to elect to click Moonblast here, because I just want to get off some good damage with this on this Titan in case he went for the Belly Drum. I wanted to punish him right now, but obviously he does elect to click Heavy Slam and carry my Whimsicott, which I'm not entirely too happy with, but the Swampert is kind of low and it's in range of Razor Shell, so it's not the end of the world. But I did want to ensure that I didn't let this Titan get off a Belly Drum for free, because obviously it could be Throat Chop from my Skeledirge. So yeah, so I do elect to go into my Samurai Hisui here, and obviously it's just a free Ceaseless Edge, because even if Clefable comes in, it's not too much of an issue. And this actually shows that it is actually faster than my Samurai, which is, I had a lot of speed, so this Titan was very fast, so it's a good prep on Niki's part to get speed. So obviously, because that Clefable is unaware, I am going to get off 12% with my Ceaseless Edge. As you can see here, it does take... oh, is he Magic? No, he's Boots, sorry. He's Boots unaware. I was going to say... yeah, he's Boots unaware at this point, so... Oh no, maybe he's Magic Guard. I think he might... I couldn't quite work out if he was Boots unaware or Magic Guard. But he's one of the two, because obviously he doesn't take any chip here. But we do just go back into my Skeledirge, and he just goes straight for the Moonblast, of course. Just again, this Clefable sticks around for pretty much most of the battle. This annoying pink blob has stood the test of time. I do go for Torchsong now because again I get the spikes and the Torchsong off on this Swampert here just to keep it low, which is good. As you see, it's now just under half. But again, I don't really know what this Swampert's going to go for. I do want to keep this thing around. I do want to keep Skeledirge around because it is really good for the Clefable. So I'm going to switch out here, obviously, because if I don't keep this mon around, Clefable might actually become a threat, and that's not really what I want from this game. So I'm going to elect to go into my... I think I go into my Sandy Shocks here because I don't want to sack Swampert. I don't want to sack Samurott to an EQ. No, actually, no, I go into Latia predicting the EQ because I'm making a big read smart brain play. So we do obviously take anything that's not an Ice Punch, and I don't think he was going to go for Ice Punch. As you see, the Liquidation does a respectable amount, but not too much. Obviously, predicting the Skeledirge stay in. Obviously, and I click Luster Purge, and I just about miss out on the KO from this Swampert, and he turns out to be Yawn. I was like, thank fuck for that, because I thought I was going to die to an Ice Punch. So he's Body Press, Liquidation, EQ, and Roar. And Yawn, so I don't really get that set because Ice Punch is really free into Whimsicott plus Latios. But anyway, so he goes for the Yawn here. So obviously, this thing's dead to rocks, spikes anyway, so I'm not too worried about staying in. But it is actually quite interesting because it does force me to have to sack a Pokemon here. And I do ultimately elect to sack Sandy Shocks because I do still have my Latios for the Gouging Fire, so I can always kill it with a Draco Meteor. And as you do see here, Niki's just going to go for the EQ, making a smart play, Liquidation, sorry, and he's going to die to Life Orb in front of my Sandy Shocks. So my Sandy Shocks just about barely lives this hit, and now we're booster speed, so we are faster than anything on the field. But I do think he's just going to go into Donphan, as we do see Amoonguss come in here, which also makes a lot of sense. I think I do actually preserve Sandy Shocks, so I don't need to sack it off. I can save it for later. And obviously Skeledirge is a completely free switch into this Pokemon. As you do see the Energy Ball come off here and do absolutely fuck all from this Amoonguss. So I'm going to click Slack Off here because, again, he doesn't have good switchings. As you see, I go for the Slack Off and he actually clicks Toxic, which is a good play on Niki's part, keeping my Skeledirge on a timer, which is not helpful for the Clefable. Because that will make the Clefable issue slightly bigger, but we have ways around it, so it's not in the end of the world. I do click Torch Song here because, again, Swampert's dead. This Niki does not have good switchings into Torch Song, and of course the only fans comes out the Donphan. So we do break it sturdy and do about 25%, about that 20-25% with Torch Song. As you see, another lefties Pokemon. I'm fairly convinced this team was all lefties apart from Swampert. So we do actually now elect to switch into our Sandy Shocks and sack it off because Sandy Shocks, unfortunately, is not doing anything anymore. So yeah, I'm going to sack that off, and as we do see the knockoff come from the Donphan. This does give me a free switching into either my Tornadus or my Samurott, because either really take advantage of this mon. So I do elect to go into my Tornadus here because it's time for Big Bird to do what Big Bird does best and get some kills. And yeah, so I'm just going to go for the Raw Hurricane because fuck it, why not? I decided to stay as Flying just because that's the best typing against him for now. We do see the Rapid Spin, so Samurott spikes are gone, but that's okay because Clefable's Magic Guard anyway, and everything else just gets ruined by Hurricane. I do elect to go for the Grass Knot here just in case he wanted to stay. In which he does, so I kill the Donphan and just get to show the tech. Obviously, Big Bird never misses a Hurricane, but I just didn't want to have to take a lot of damage from this thing, obviously by the Stone Edge or Ice Shard. As we see here is Gouging Fire actually comes in here, which is always a threat. It's not boosted though, so that's very good. Otherwise that would have been a big problem. But yeah, so we do see Gouging Fire coming in here. I cannot let this thing DD for free, because if he gets off 2 DDs, he's just going to fucking win, and I don't chip it. So I am going to elect to stay in here and Terra Ground and click Terra Blast. I do expect him to have Dragon Claw and Earthquake as his coverage, because that's, and then obviously fire coverage for Whimsicott. So I'm just going to expect him to click DD here, and I'm going to go for the Terra Blast and get off a lot of damage. As you can see, even though Gouging Fire is very bulky, this does fucking loads of damage. It almost kills it. And it is weakness policy, so that's a really good bring on Niki's part. And we do see the DD, so I am shitting my pants right now. But thankfully it's only +1, so my Latios is outspeed. And I'm fairly certain that's in range of Sucker Punch from Samurott. So I do decide to make a really crazy play here and go into my Latios, because I just don't expect him to go for a Dragon type move, because he doesn't need to. I expect him to EQ here, predicting my Skeledirge, and I look like an absolute god when I get it right, which wasn't really my intention, but I'm very glad that that happened. So we are just going to go for the Lust Purge here and kill the Gouging Fire, because this mon is a fucking problem. That mon is one of the best mons of the generation. It is a big problem. So we are going to see that Clefable come back out here again, and I'm obviously going to go back into my Skeledirge and just try and get as much chip on this thing as I can, because his team is just Skeledirge and Clefable, not Skeledirge, Moongus and Clefable at this point. So Skeledirge just does really well into this team. Obviously you see the Moonblast come off and do fuck all, but that Toxic is going to be quite annoying. But I'm still going to go for the Slack Off just to keep my health high, and then switch out and then reset the Toxic. Sorry, reset the Fake Tears damage and the Toxic, because I know he's going to click Moonblast this turn, so I can come in at a full amount. I'm going to come in close to full HP. I'm going into my Tornadoes because obviously it's the only one that's not weak to Moonblast. Just to get some, some regeneration back here. So I'm going to predict him obviously to go for the Moonblast now. So he's going to go for the Moonblast plus Toxic, which isn't too bad. Obviously I'm faster than this Clefable, so I can take whatever hit he's going to go for. And obviously you see the Moonblast come off here. That does negligible damage, and the Toxic doesn't do too much either. So I can click Torch on and start boosting through past this Clefable. And Skeledirge can hopefully carry this team to victory. As you see here, we're going a bit back and forth here, and I'm badly poisoned, so I want to check how many turns I've got of badly poisoned. I'm just going to Torch on here because I'm trying to get chip off on this Clefable. So as you see, it does a fair amount, and obviously he's going to click Moonblast, and that we obviously don't take much, but the special attack drop is what hurts the most here out of this sequence, because I could have stayed in and gone for it again, but now he's kind of fucked me up, so I have to go for Torchong again, just get a bit of chip and keep this Clefable low. So he has to choose whether to click Moonblast and kill me or heal up, and he chooses to click Moonblast, which is more than fine with me. Now he's in range of Tornadoes Hurricane, which works very well for me. So I'm just going to go into Samurott here and click Razor Shell, but in case he was very Spadef, there was a roll where it lived my Tornadoes' hit. So I'm going to click Razor Shell and kill it, which is good, because that was, in case you couldn't tell, that was quite Spadef. That was pretty much max Spadef Clefable. So I'm going to click Razor Shell there with Samurott. It was a guaranteed OK. Obviously you can see the Amoongus comes in here. Now I go into my Latios predicting the Spore, because I want my Tornadoes to get the kill, because why not? It's my team captain, so I'm going to try and feed it kills when I can. It is currently the #1 kill leader in this season as well. Terra Tornadoes is disgusting. Whoever thought it should be allowed, it is just mental. So you're going to see me switch out into Lati here. In case he doesn't go for the Sport, it just works out really well for me. He's probably going to go for the Energy Ball, which he does. So this is just going to allow me to click Luster Purge and probably kill it or come really close. Obviously Moongus's bulk allows it to live 1, which is always good. And we do see it go for the Toxic here, but this seals the deal. And Latios picks up the kill here, and we win 3-0. So congratulations. GG, well played. That was a really good game, Niki. That Gouging Fire was nearly a massive problem. But yeah, that's it. We're going to take home a win, and I will see you guys next week. Where we take on our final opponent for week 8, and I'm hoping to finish season 5 and 3. But yeah, and hopefully we can start a run for playoffs. This has been Blazeman as always, signing off.